Welcome to Side B of the BlastCast. I am Jarvis, and with me as always is the guy who flips my records, Lightning Dragon. Alright, now as promised, we said we were going to some of the more of the particular discussions that kind of came up during the course of the week. Now some of this is related to CitizenCon, some of it not so much, but we're going to go ahead and start by talking over some of the stuff that people were concerned about on the forums. Now, they had redone all the ship stats with the new ship matrix, the whole thing done from top to bottom. And there is a lot of outrage. Some weapons were removed. Some ships were totally looked like they handled different. My main concern was the fact that it looks like, you know, the laterals and vertical strafing and whatnot is pretty close to the main thruster on almost every ship. It shows that they still don't have any idea that pacing is an issue.
A long story short is the ship spec page is wrong.
It might be.
And expect it to change as always because, again, this is still a work in progress.
Yeah,
game.
I mean, when I saw like the weight of the Hornet, I think it showed like 70-something tons or something. I'm like, no, that can't be right. So, I mean,
the
it's
most
possible.
the most important thing is the Retaliator's guns are no longer size 1.
Well, yeah, they're of course they're size 2. So the thing is that you know, when they put these stats in, just bear in mind that with many variants and stuff they have, all they have to do is be off a row for some of the stats to be off when they upload everything. Not only that, stats are going to change. The Hornet had 2 more guns when the game first came out. They were stuck in the nose. They were fixed, and they took those 2 guns away. So you know, ships are always going to be changing. But you don't buy a ship for the stats, you buy a ship for the role it's going to provide. Of the 30 ships that I own, every one of them fills a particular gap. There's very little overlap at all, even not only among the ships that I have, but the things that Lightning Dragon can also do, and my brother. There's more overlap with my brother, because I think we just kind of wanted the same ships anyway. But Lightning Dragon and I, we kind of basically made sure that our ships are complementary. So, as I have to say about this is normally when I see this kind of outrage, I'm like, a lot of times I can be really supportive of it. Not so much on this one. Just wait and see. There's going to be more changes coming. They'll take a weapon off now and realize it needs to come back later. The best thing you can do is just get out there when these changes are made and fly the ship, talk about it, report on it, discuss it, whatever word you want to use, and let the devs know your feelings about the ship. And like any MMO, changes are going to be continually happening.
Balance is a constant.
Yeah, it's an ever-changing thing. So I wouldn't put too much concern into it right now. Just make sure that the ship you have performs the role you want, and let everything else just kind of fall into place.
And you know what? Let's talk about Warframe again, which has absolutely nothing to do with Star Citizen. But only going to point out they've added this new mechanic, which maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. But what it is depending on how many people are using a certain item, like if there's a lot of people using the item, there's these special mods you can get that make them better. But the more popular it is, the worse those mods are. So if you take a really unpopular weapon, those specialty mods, which apparently are super hard to get, can be super, super good. Like going from like, wow, this is a piece of shit weapon to, holy crap, if I do this and this, it'll be amazing, if not better than those really, really popular things. And I mean, if a ship is like, why is nobody flying the, you know, whatever ship, right? I mean, they'll look at that and go, oh, well, that's because of this. And the same thing if there's a lot of comments saying, this ship sucks, these are the reasons why. Obviously, you could phrase it better than that, but the short version would be like, this ship is not performing very well, these are the reasons. And if a lot of people are saying the same thing, odds are they're probably going to fix it, but their list of fixing things is like the entire length of the United States, you know, written in 8-size font print. So it gets put on the list, and hopefully, eventually, things will be changed, updated, balanced.
Yeah, and when game developers look at metrics, they're always going to try to figure out why are there outliers. We want this ship to fall within this scope. We want this ship to present itself here on this line, and instead it's you know, it's got this high or low deviation and it just doesn't fall within the spectrum that we wanted. So they'll make adjustments. It'll happen, but that's gonna require time, and you'll see adjustments to ships 4 or 5 years after release.
It's gonna require time, you say?
So much precious time?
But it also require money.
Don't you start singing.
I promise not to.
Because this summer's just 6 weeks long. All right, no, okay. Anyway, so kind of back to what we talked about before as well. One of the things that kind of came up, besides Derek Smart's ranting over the fact that they played a video during the 8-minute travel time to Hurston saying, it's all faked, it's all faked. Look at
no, they used a video.
They used picture in a picture to show a video presentation that was timed to fit between the gap of travel. It's all faked.
Oh boy, well, how dare they not fire the program up live and then mess with things that could possibly be NDA or, secretive. Let's not have a professional presentation while we're waiting to get to the next planet. But the thing is that so some people are concerned, like I'm sorry, you've convinced me. I have to refund all my packages right now. Hang on, let me just.
Yeah,
kidding.
100% convinced. Let's go get Line of Defense. Whee! It's only out. It's due out 2012. Anyway, so
wait a minute.
Hey, something's wrong here. So some people have been talking about travel times. We'd mentioned, as I talked about previously in the previous BlastCast, or Part A, the A side, was that some people are looking at alternatives to the default system of Quantum Drive to kind of make things a little bit more interesting, or maybe even take less time, depending upon what you're doing.
I don't know if you can find which episode it was, because we've done a lot of them now.
Oh, yeah.
But I said it. I'm pretty sure we said it on camera, that when they said it's going to be X% the speed of light, I knew then and there.
0.2?
Yeah, I knew right from there that's not fast enough.
Oh yeah, you whipped out your calculator and started figuring out the math from Earth to the sun, and wait a minute. You're sitting there like, this is going to take this long, and it's just
if you cut them in half, it's still ridiculously long.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, it's going to take you a couple of days to reach this planet, It's just like, but it's more than just. It's not only the 0.2 thing, but I think they've actually shrunk the system sizes a little bit. So I guess
it's either half or third scale now.
Yeah. So when you factor that back in, it gets pretty close, effectively speaking, to speed of light. So it's faster than it was if it was a 1-to-1 scale.
0.2 at third. That wouldn't be much faster.
Well, it's better.
Yeah, it's 1/3 better, or it's 66% better.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, the point.
What's 66%?
Don't make me math when I'm trying to talk. This isn't
we're gonna do math on live recording. What is 66% of 0.2?
Cheese.
Not much. The answer
it.
is not much.
No.
So you've gone from 0.2 to 2.6 or something. Oh boy, it's so much faster.
Don't make me math when I'm trying to think about this topic. So anyway, some of the concern is that there's gonna be a lot of people who aren't gonna want to play this game because they're not gonna want to take that 2 to 3 hour travel time between planets, or sometimes maybe multiple days. But to be completely and totally blunt with you, I hate to be this way, but I don't
share that opinion.
I know. We have.
Right
what are the odds? We don't share an opinion.
This is a polar opposite view. Jarvis is like, I don't care about travel time.
I don't.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't want to sit for 1 to plus hours.
I got YouTube, baby.
maybe 3 hours to travel somewhere. If it's gonna take me 3 hours to travel somewhere, I'll play a different game. I don't care how much money I've put into it. I don't want to spend 3 hours doing nothing. And I'm sorry, Chris. I mean, you've made great games and you're doing a good job here, but adding interdictions is not.
That I agree with you with. This will take 8 minutes, but it could take normally much longer. When you stop with this idea that everyone. I mean, that's the number one thing I hate. I hate in Elite Dangerous is, I'm carrying 1 ton of fertilizer. Oh,
every pirate pull your ship over, random inspection.
Yeah, I'm like, come on.
You go about your business there.
Yeah, and 5 feet later, it's like, oh, pirate. Oh, I want it all.
2 seconds later, this is a police pull over, random inspection. And this happened to Jarvis, by the way. I'm sure we've talked about it. You got pulled over by the cops like twice, and then a pirate, and I'm pretty
and
sure
the pirate kept chasing me. I'm like, stop it! It's just fertilizer.
Eventually, you turned around and killed him,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure before you left the system to go to the system where you were going to deliver it, another cop pulled you over for a random inspection.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire time we're on voice here talking about this, it's nothing but son of a bitch, interdicted again. That was the whole gaming session that we were on. I mean, it was like half an hour or something. You just interdicted over and over again.
5-minute mission. That kept getting pulled out.
It was go to the next system and then you're done. But he couldn't even do that.
No, I got so frustrated. I think I just called it a day. Like, that's it.
I think you did finish it, but afterwards.
Oh yeah, I finished it, but after that I was done.
Yeah,
I was like,
we're done. It's like, I understand.
turn this stuff off for a while. Yeah, that's too much.
I think I was killing pirates or something.
The reason I don't mind the travel times is if there needs to be enough work inside of a local, like for example, take something from the planet to the space station, take something from the main planet to the moon, or something like that. There needs to be, or take something from one, like Area 17 to Area 18. There needs to be missions that scale in every kind of level, because the person in the Aurora isn't going to want to go over 3 systems. It's great that he's got a bed in the Aurora. He's not going to want to.
Does he have enough fuel to do that 3-system jump?
He'd have to do a lot of stops and things like that. But the point is
awful.
It would be awful because he doesn't have a lot of fuel, and he'd have to do a lot of stops. The point is that there needs to be, as far as the concept of the distance and travel, there needs to be enough to do at any scale that people can get in and play those 20, 30-minute sessions and do something. And there needs to be enough that those hardcore explorers could be out in deep space for 3 weeks looking for something. And that's fine too. But it has to, and another thing about the travel times is that, when you're looking at just the dynamics, like we've all played first-person shooters. You know how that basically the games that have instant respawns, just as an example, where the spawn is and how fast that respawn happens. If the respawns happen in 30 seconds, or maybe there's a scale. The more often you die, the longer it takes to your next respawn or whatever. That changes.
Taylor started that.
Yeah, that changes the flow of battle. So if it's one of those things that, like in Star Citizen, okay, you get killed, or there's two large fleets going at it. You may spawn like on the planet 25 minutes away, and that doesn't even count the fact you've got to get to the ship or get a replacement or pick something else. You may not even have a ship there because you may have to file a claim and wait. So what this does is it pulls people out of this constant nonstop circle battles that people can get into for real consequence. If you take somebody out, they're just going to be out. The battle's going to be done before they get back. And that is, once again, why you can't have the game based around arcade pacing, because it's not built for it. The travel times, the way things have to work,
the economy,
none of this is based around that kind of pacing. So, and once again, even if you do decide you want to go with the arcade pacing, the people who like that pacing are going to be gone in 1 month when they realize that it's going to take them 5 hours to travel to the next star system. They'll be done. They'll go play Call of Duty. They won't stick around. So you gotta build this game for the people who are gonna play this game. Okay, the arena commanders, your instant action, that's fine. But if you think that you're gonna jump into the persistent universe, you're gonna get into an epic space battle, and that's all you're gonna do all day, you're gonna spend more time traveling to that space battle than you are gonna actually be taking part in that space battle. You've got to realize that this is all part of the overall, and the travel time is part of it. And you get communities like set up. Like initially, we're gonna have like 5 systems. Over time, they'll open up more systems. The player base will spread out a little bit. But because of the difficulty or the time involved in traveling, you're gonna find those Han Solos that stay in Corellia because they've got contacts there and they work local. And occasionally they take something to a nearby system or a nearby planet. But you'll develop like people that you start to recognize, people that you start to know that are out there, because that's the planet or that's the system that they work out on.
And we don't just mean NPCs. We're talking about other players.
Yeah,
friendly
absolutely.
Players you BS with in local chat if you're an EVE player, right? I mean, you've seen those people.
Organizations are going to work out of one system primarily or something like that. They're going to find a system that has the asteroids they need for mining, or it's going to have the gas giant they need for gas harvesting or whatever. They're going to work within those systems, and that's where they're going to want to focus their efforts. And people will travel, but one of the things I thought that they could do to make things a little easier. Now, say like you want to go over 3 systems over, and it says, man, it's going to take 9 hours to get there or whatever. What you do is you hire mass transit, and of course we have the mass transit system in, but it could be something that's done in the background, like the server side thing. I'm going to transfer my character over. Okay, it's going to take 9 hours to do this, to go to the planet. You log out for the day, you pay for the transit, you log out for the day, you go to bed, you wake up, you're on planet XYZ. And now
or if you log in too soon and you have still like
you're on the ship.
Hour, you're in like your own little instance in the little taxi ship, and then you like on your Omni tool. I'm gonna call it the Omni tool from fucking here on out. On your Omni tool, you have like destination will be reached in 59 minutes or something, and so you can look and then go, oh okay, well I can stand up, get something to eat and get a drink or whatever. But anyway, the short version is you can do it 2 ways, and the way Jarvis is talking about, which I agree with and I disagree with, is you have the first way where you have so much content that you don't need to travel really far unless you want to. So for example, let's say it's Saturday, or maybe you got Friday off from work, so you slept, got a good night's sleep, you went to bed a bit early, you woke up early, you have the entire day to play, and you jump on, you go, here's a system to haul gold, to this other planet, and the travel time is, let's say it's 4 hours, just because that's reasonable in my head. And you say, you know what, I'm cool with that. So you get in there, you load up your ship, and you get that 5 hour or the 4 hour travel time, and you make a shitload of money when you do that travel, and you're like, yes, and you've made that, as long as the economy's not screwed up, you've made that 5 hours worth it, and maybe you need to go do some yard work or something, so you're like, I want to taxi that back. So maybe they have a system that you can have you hire a pilot that'll fly you back, kind of an offline online state, so that
I would agree with that. Even Elite Dangerous does that now. You just hire someone to transport your ship over. Thank goodness.
And you pay more money than like if you would a taxi. Or there's the second way. And the second way is you make it so that traveling distances is not an issue, basically to the point where like if that 4 hour travel time, let's say now it's like 20 minutes. I mean, that's maybe that's a bit long, but compared to 4 hours versus 20 minutes, hell, I take the 20 minutes every day. And I would prefer a system I'd prefer something in the middle, because I mean what Jarvis is talking about with the travel time, and if you're out of the battle, you're not going to get back in time. And I agree with that. That's fine. I mean, I don't want to see like one guy in Aurora like flying in, get blowing up, and then like 2 seconds later,
Captain Ramming Speed keeps coming back for more.
Yeah. and that's really immersion breaking, and that's not something that I really care about. But if I'm seeing the same person coming in there and getting blown up over and over again, it'd be like, 1, stop that stupid idiot, and 2, like, where the hell are you getting all these ships? Where's the travel time? The guy got killed. So first of all, he dies, or he gets injured really bad. So that means, in character wise, if you want to roleplay all this stuff out, that means the ship has to come out there, get him in the middle of a combat thing, fly back to the station, medical him up so he can
we're already cheating the system a little bit with that already, the instant wake up thing.
And be conscious, and then he has to, get out of the medical bed and be like, oh, I need to get back into the fight. Stumble down the hallway.
Runs down the hallway with one leg and
yeah, so he stumbles down there and orders a ship and then flies back. I mean, I don't really want to have huge long respawn timers, but I understand the need and purpose for these things. So I wouldn't say want a full arcade system. I don't want that. I mean, if anyone thinks that I want that, you're
we don't need Skyrim wrong. Instant travel checkpoints where you just click on your city and suddenly you're over there either.
Yeah, but what you can do is you can make it so that you have like a different type of travel system. The travel that they're adding to the game has never been in player hands before, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know if Evil Caudy's been testing it. Jarvis, you can't tell me, so don't even say anything. But it basically...
I like turtles.
Yeah, players have not touched the system, so there's no way to know if it's good or bad. I mean, from what we've seen and what Chris has said, and a lot of people, myself included, think the travel time is going to be way too long, especially if they add random ass interdiction chances, because no one wants that. you know, maybe on a really, really long run, you expect something to happen, right?
I'd
You
say
know,
like a 5% chance, because if you think of all the NPC traffic out there, I mean, let's look at it this way. Drive to work. If you drive to work every day for a year, how many times do you get pulled over by a cop? Some people, not even once. And if you scale that up to a galactic scale with space, with no roads and no speed limits, what do you think the odds are going to be that you're probably going to get pulled over by a cop or something like that? Even less.
Yeah.
So let's not.
We're talking about a galactic scale. That'd be like the entire population of Earth commuting to Mars.
Yeah. I mean, there's not enough cops out there. I mean, it's not. It's. I don't want to see that kind of thing. Now, if you pick up sensor readings or you detect something, fine. That's my option to stop. That's my option to go look. And you know, maybe
taking control away from the player is the last thing you want to do.
And if another player is pulling you out, or give it, let's just be generous. Let's give them a 1% chance of a pirate interdicting you, because with all the traffic out there, why you? You know, because there's got to be other things out there that, you know, they could detect other ships and go after other NPCs. So let's just say 1%. I think that's generous enough, and everything else should be your voluntary decision to stop and check something out. So, you know, it's just because I think...
Scaled based on your sensors and ship type, so exploration ships have a much higher chance.
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't want to see this become... You know, travel times are already been long enough that if the 8-minute travel time turns into 2 hours because I'm getting stopped by everybody and everything, and every pirate wants my 1 ton of horse crap that I'm carrying in my hold, I'm going to get pissed. I don't mind travel times. What I don't like is constant interruptions that don't matter. Or at least... They only matter because I'm trying not to get killed because I'm getting attacked by another pirate because he wants my 1 ton of horse crap for some reason. I
see you're hauling yard waste.
Yeah.
Prepare to die, scum. That's mine.
Exactly. So, you know, that's a big thing. I mean, let us know what your thoughts are about the travel times, because it is a heck of an issue. I feel that it's I like them. I don't mind them. I'm the kind of guy, you play like IL-2. You fly from over an entire country just to drop some bombs and turn your bomb around and fly right back. You know, so your most tense times are the takeoff and the landings. You know, maybe the flak guns.
Maybe the bombing part if you're being.
Yeah, the bombing part. The flak. Oh, if you miss your bombs, you just wasted an hour and a half. You know, but no. The whole point is that. So I don't mind that kind of thing. For me, it's not the destination, it's the journey. So what bothers me is the idea in between in that journey where this constant need
someone walks up and slaps your face in the middle of the journey and says, "Hey, pay attention," and you're like, "What's going on? I just got slapped in the face."
I like my Polaris. Like, I got a pool table in there. You know what I want to do? I want to set my destination. It's a 3-hour trip. I want to grab some of the people off the bridge and let's go play some pool. That's what I want to do. I don't want to sit. Yeah, or poker. Whatever's in the game. The point is that that's what I want to do. I want to receive a communication and say, "Sir, we're detecting something. What do you want to do?" Ignore it. Okay. You know, that's what I want to do, because I don't want to feel like I'm being forced to do these kind of things. So once again, that statement kind of sent. That was for me the only negative part of the whole CitizenCon was, oh, this is 8-minute trip, but it normally would take a lot. Normally would take longer. What is your definition of normally?
It would actually probably take about 66% longer. Yeah. So if we even had drive technology that was 0.2% of the light speed. I mean, hell, how long did it take Voyager to get to Mars or something? Yeah. Long ass time.
Yeah, and bear in mind, travels between certain planets might even take longer depending upon where they are in their orbit. I mean, one might take 8 minutes when it's at its closest, and when they're both furthest apart, it might take 25 minutes. So it just depends on where everything is at that moment.
Wait, you know what? I do know a pretty reliable estimate. Kerbal Space Program, when you have to wait a year for a transfer window to save like a year of travel time because you're at your inoptimal thing. Yeah. You go now and you spend like a year and a half in space, or you wait a year and you spend 10 months in space. So which one would you rather do? Well, technically, one of them is shorter.
Depends on how much I'm being annoyed by people on Earth. Be like, I'll take the 10 months in space. Just give me lots of dried rations, lots of the freeze-dried
the shorter one.
Cotton candy.
That is 10 months on Earth and then a 10-month travel time, as opposed to leave now and be on the spaceship for 2.5 years.
Yeah, what's wrong about?
2.5 years? Fine by me.
All right, guys, as I said, go ahead and leave your comments down below about what you think about travel times, how you think that's going to change the nature of the game. if this is what you always expected, if you want something different. And it's a very complex subject, and obviously Lightning and I have some differing opinions on it. But I think as much as we differ, there's a lot of overlap of where we do agree. So it's just that I feel that our outer edges are
we
landing
both
different.
agree that there needs to be enough missions to keep the game interesting and where you're at. Where we differ on is how long it should take you to get to that destination.
There you go. That's a good summary. All right, guys. Well, we will catch you on the next whatever the heck video comes out. And, of course, I am Jarvis, and this was Lightning Dragon. This was Side B. Thanks for listening.
I hope you enjoyed your record. Go and buy more.